Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You are here on the home of the Slightly Above Average Ship Review. I have a slightly above average game for you today in the American Tier 7 alternate tech tree destroyer, the Osborne, which isn't a real ship, although it's based on real concepts. So here is the Osborne. I think they probably took, I don't want to say the wrong ship, but they probably took that four turret Farragut model that I want to say maybe the Pan Asian ship line has and turned it into this ship. Here's a look at the teams. We are top tier, sixes and sevens here on Loop. And let's talk about the Osborne. Well, there really was a destroyer called the Osborne, DD-295, a Clemson-class destroyer in the U.S. Navy following World War I, named after Whedon Osborne, who was a recipient of the Medal of Honor. This ship, Osborne, was converted into a cargo ship called Matagalpa and burned in June of 42, not repaired, and scuttled in September of 47. Boy, talk about procrastinating. It was used to transport banana stems between Central America and New Orleans. A banana boat. This is probably why Twinkies don't have banana flavoring anymore. They used to, that's the original flavoring, but due to the banana embargo of World War II, that's why Twinkies switched their filling to vanilla or cream flavor, and the banana flavor, which is even more interesting because it's based off of an extinct banana. The banana flavoring is the OG. While we're talking about this nonsense, the extinct banana is called a King Alfred, and so banana flavoring is probably the only flavoring in the world where the flavoring tastes better than any real fruit product you could buy based off of the flavoring, or the other way around, that the flavoring's based off of. Because the flavoring that the banana flavor is based off of, that banana doesn't exist anymore, it went extinct. So, anyway, if you're wondering why banana flavored Twinkies taste so good, that's why. All right. Somebody decided to stupidly launch torpedoes at me. Look at this deft backing and turning. Thank you, Osborne. I also activated one of my four DFAA charges. So we got some defensive AA going on, and for our trouble, we shot down 6 airplanes. All right, you can see I've got 3 smoke screens and 4 radars, advanced radars left. I am using Ernest Evans as the commander. I don't want to take away from what's happening here on the screen, and I won't. Here comes one of the enemy destroyers. I'm just too stupid to realize he's there. Hello. Talk about target fixated. All right, there's the Jaeger, and I turn against my own turrets, which I have warned people never to do. And then my teammate very helpfully sets a smoke screen so I can't see the enemy destroyer. Thanks a lot, buddy. He also eats a torpedo because we're moving forward. We don't have to worry about that. All right, we're still shooting. I go to turn and he backs into me, and because I'm angry at him, I just don't care. What kind of asshole sets a smoke screen in front of his own teammate who's trying to kill somebody? All right. Anyway, the enemy destroyer escapes for now. I relented and decided to let this guy go forward. We were going to leave his ill-conceived smoke screen as he just blindly throws torpedoes out. That's how you know that player's not any good, everybody. If they're launching torpedoes at nothing from inside of a smoke screen, they're just praying that they get a hit. That's all. All right, there are some other ships over there, but I am not concerned with them. I want to hunt down the enemy destroyer. As you can see, our advanced radar is giving us a couple of indicators here, and we only have a minute left before it recharges. So Ernest Evans can do some really nice things for your consumables. All right, there is the Jaeger. He was never in danger of being hit with a torpedo, as you can clearly see. He is, however, in danger of being hit by my main battery, and he is going to die. And I did not realize the other destroyer was up on the board. That is kill number 1, by the way. We are turning to engage the Fen Yang, and we avoid some really bracketing torpedoes there. We are taking on the Fen Yang. We're going to launch our torpedoes, and I'm turning away. The Fen Yang is turning away, and he's allowing me to shoot him in the rudder. Our legendary skill, Final Stand, activates. Final Stand is a pretty nice legendary effect. We take out his rudder again. We're still shooting, and he thinks he's safe, and I just hit my radar. He is not safe. And now we're taking out his main battery and continuing to fire. And basically, this is really kind of a best case scenario on how you use your consumables. We are not going to get any joy there. So in a minute, I think I'm going to give up on that and shoot at the Iowa, because we're in a U.S. smokescreen. We got a minute and a half left. So why not? Let's just use it. The passive radar sweep is indicating he's still out there at the edge of the smokescreen, but I would rather shoot at a defined target rather than aiming for air and hoping I hit a guy hiding in a smokescreen. That's just me. You do you. I'm sure there are plenty of people, like some guy that I was in a match with. He ended up with 100 more experience than me. Like, he had 2,200, I had 2,100. And he sent me a message telling me to uninstall the game. I was like, that would have been tempting if I had not just bought a year of premium time. Anyway, we are continuing to farm damage off the Iowa. Set, I believe, our second fire on the Iowa. And so we'll just start adding insult to injury. We still have about 30 seconds left on our smoke screen, and he is starting to move out of range. So I am starting to look for another target. And unfortunately for me, I'm not finding one. But as you can see, our radar is about to reset itself before the end of my smoke screen. So if I was truly patient, I could have stayed in the smoke screen. I just don't think that the destroyer is still within range, because looking at the passive radar sweep, he is not visible in front of me anymore. Checking Vladivostok, thought about shooting there, decided not to. I'm going to transit over to the Bravo Cap and see what I can do there. You'll notice the whole time what hasn't gone away is Final Stand. Final Stand depends on your hit points. So once you lose enough hit points, Final Stand is active the entire time, which is really cool. So, I think it's interesting to me whether this commander gets used in gunboats as well as these alternate destroyers. I'm not planning to take him into the gunboats simply because I've got gunboat commanders that do that job a little bit better. And it's really tempting to describe these alternate destroyers as Soviet-like because they've got that really big alpha damage, or German-like, especially on the armor piercing. I can't say that. I would be very cautious about doing it at range, for the simple reason that although you've got a long main battery range and you do a nice alpha strike, what you don't have, that the Russians do have, is speed. All right, here's the Fen Yang. We're going to engage him again, and you're going to see the benefits of Final Stand. He is maneuvering. We're just flat broadside almost. I'm like, come on and get it, baby. And he doesn't want to. Not really. You can see the massive damage piling up there. And I think we're going to finish him off right there for kill number 2. So, Final Stand, we didn't take a ton of damage from him, even though we were mostly broadside. but we did a ton of damage. So Final Stand allows you to fight from a disadvantage and still win. In full disclosure, my best game, you may have seen the screenshot I posted on the channel. I did have a 4-kill game in that match. It was not me grinding down 4 ships from nothing. It was, I think, at least 2 of them I finished off a ship that was probably at quarter health. So you can do some gunboating at range and stuff like that, which I would recommend doing. But again, this doesn't have the speed of a Soviet ship or a French ship. So the Soviet especially, you're not going to be able to capture that same play style as like a Gnevny in this ship because you just don't have the speed. This is a very slow destroyer. It's got hard-hitting guns. It's got hard-hitting torpedoes. The destroyer itself is very slow as I lose track of what's going on in the match here. The destroyer itself is very slow. The torpedoes are very slow. Basically, I thought the time was going to run out, and it won't, but it will here in a minute because we got to kill the last ship. All right. So that's my thoughts on the Osborne with these bigger caliber guns. And hopefully in the next video, the Christopher, I can talk about the bigger caliber guns. All right, here on the victory screen, 55,035 total damage. 81 main battery hits, shot down 10 airplanes. 2 kills, 4 fires, 1 solo base cap, 1 assisted base cap. The first blood medal, we ended up with 465,218 silver, 8,400 ship XP, 2,200 green XP, 17,000 commander XP. There we are at the top of the board, 2748 base XP, 2 big kills, leading the way for our team in the victory. Slightly less effective when you're down tier. I'll just say that and leave that here. All right, here in the port, we are in early access. We went with aiming system mod 1, propulsion mod 2, concealment system mod 1, and AA guns mod 3. Choose whatever you want. Destroyer is fully upgraded. Taking a look at the loadout, we got high explosive, armor piercing, and regular torpedoes. Unlimited charges of the damage control party, 3 charges of a U.S. smoke generator, 4 charges of advanced radar, 4 charges of defensive AA fire. We were running all of the epic flags, in addition to the common battle booster for speed, the standard permanent camouflage, and the early adopter flag. Taking a look at the specs, 19,860 hit points and a 37% fire resistance in our build. The hit points is a big jump, and that is due to our commander choice. And we'll talk about that when we review the commander, Ernest Evans. Main battery, 4 137mm turrets, 11.2 kilometer firing range, 5-second reload. The turret traverse is 12.9 seconds. Shell grouping value of 2. The dispersion you see here is all slightly worse due to our commander selection, probably just a little bit worse. HE shells 2200 max damage with a 12% fire chance and pen 23 millimeters of armor. The armor piercing shells do 3400 max damage. They pen 310.3 millimeters at point blank range and a slightly decreased 97.8 millimeters at max range. Lose about 10 millimeters with this build. Does have improved penetration angles. It's 60 degrees and 67.5 degrees for the guaranteed ricochet angle. The fuse arming threshold is 23 millimeters. Torpedo launchers, just 1 quad launcher. The range is 8.6 kilometers. The torpedoes travel incredibly fast, 46 knots. Reload in 72 seconds. Max damage, 25,440. And the detectability is 900 meters. Arming distance slightly increased with our build. AA defense, we took a hit when it comes to the 20mm Orlikin guns. However, we get a huge boost from the 40mm Bofors, which is more than double. And also, our dual purpose main battery gets a slight increase. That is your longest reaching AA out to 5 km. All right, maneuverability 36 knots with the speed boost flag. Turning circle 630 meters. Rudder shift time greatly decreased to 4.1 seconds. And the engine power multiplier is double for both of those, forward and reverse. Concealment 5.3 on the surface, 3 kilometers from the air, 2.8 when firing from smoke. Take a look at the stats. We have played 22 matches in the Osborne and only won 8 of them. But I started with no improvements to the ship whatsoever. Main battery accuracy 53%, so I believe they are accurate at range. Torpedo accuracy just 8%. That's probably due to the speed. Most of the kills by way of the main guns, so I would play this as an ambush destroyer. Like we ambushed what was it, the Lo Yang with the smoke and radar. Average results for battle are equally unimpressive, just 21k damage. The highest battle achievement is the screenshot that I posted on my channel with Arleigh Burke, and that was not a fully upgraded destroyer, so take that. All right, turrets are a little bit more heavily armored. Advanced radar, yes. Sticky shot, yes. Slow, yes. They really didn't lie here. The 5.4 millimeter guns were never put into place. They did not want to pay the money to develop them. Base trait, the Chief increases maximum destroyer hit points. You may or may not know Ernest Evans is Native American, so that's why they call him the Chief. We got Bay and Shichang for concealment and torpedo damage. Row number 1, I know a lot of people are going to go with quick fix. I went with Beacon just to try it out. Increases your fire chance, gives you an incoming fire dispersion, gives you a quicker reload. I bypassed punching up in exchange for look at me now. Not saying punching up is bad, but this is really if you're doing cruiser hunting. Maybe at the next tier I might do that, not this one. Row 3, I went with picket station. It gives you an extra consumable. I think in harm's way, as described by Tactic Angel, is kind of misleading in the effectiveness. The radar duration is like 2 seconds longer. The passive sweeps like 1 or 2 more sweeps a match. I just don't think that's worth it. Tin Can Sailor in row number 4, increase to torpedo speed and damage, decrease into torpedo range. Might switch away from that when I get him leveled up more. Here's the really nice skill. Final Stand, the legendary skill, increases the bonus damage against enemy ships with higher hit points by 10% right now. And the hit point difference to reach max damage is 200%. And gives you a special effect when your hit points are less than 45%. It gives you a big boost to damage. So that is the Osborne. Love to hear what you think.